Hello everyone, welcome back to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to study about how to draw a basic Amos model, how to do a SEM, build a structural equation model in Amos using, I will just go through the basic functions here. So this will be the layout in front of you when we open the Amos software. So it will be just a blank. So if it's not blank, you can just go there and just do here and make a blank sheet in front of you. So here you have got a panel here. All the details are here. So you have to select different items from there and put them here to make your model. So first what you have to do is go for this unobserved variable, right? So you have to select this here and then you can draw your first square circle here. So this will be your first for the first variable. Now there are some constructs with this variable, so you have to draw boxes for each of the constructs of this variable. So for that you have to go to this one with this tree kind of a diagram here. So latent variables. So you have to select here and put your cursor over this. Now it turns into red. Now you have to click over here one, then one more click two, one more click three. So how many construct you are using for this variable, you can use that many. All right. So if you did this, uh, then what you can do is if you want one more, then you have got the option just to copy this as well. So to copy all this, this is the function duplicate objects. So if you click this one, right, and then you have to select this one, okay, be careful of this one. This means that this all will be copied. If it's not selected, then only whatever you are copying, it will be copied, right? So now here you see it's not selected. I copy this one and then drag it here. So only this one has been copied. But when I select this one, now you see I drag this one, the whole of this is copied here, right? So if you have to delete something, you can use this cross button, erase objects. Click this one and select this one, it has been deleted. And if you now in this you had three items for this variable, whereas for this variable you want to increase your numbers, maybe it has got 3 4 5, then you can again click here and click here and you see now it has become 4. So you can just increase this one. So these are just the basic functions, okay? And now you have selected this one, but you want to design it is you want to move this around. So for that, this one is the you rotate the indicator of a latent variable. You bring it here, click here, you see it with one click it went towards the right, left, up, down, like this. So if you want it to be like this, and then if you want another one, you can just copy and make another one. So we made two, but now we want to move these variables right, left at different positions. So what we can do is this one, this with a truck kind of an object. You have to click this and this has been selected, so this whole of this object will move. So wherever you want to place it, whether you want to place it this way or this way, anywhere. But if you do not select this one and you want to move, only this object will move. You see, only this one move. So if you have to move individually, then what you can do is you have to deselect this tree option and move them individually, right? So but if you want to move this whole of the object, then what you can do, you can select this and then move this whole of this one, right? So like this, and move this in the middle. So to make it beautiful, you have to make the things beautiful so that it looks very beautiful when you draw your variables. And if you want to move all these right, left, or anywhere, you can just, it's already been selected, so you can just do like this. You see it can move, go up, go down, and you can increase or decrease the distance. And here also you can just make a little more space for them. Okay, so this is how you are going to draw your variables. Now, after doing this, usually it will be like you have to import your data and put your variables. So for that purpose, the tab is here, select data files. So you have to go to select data files, and then you have to, there's no data file, so you have to double click here, and then you can go, anywhere in your data where you have got the data, for example. But your data should be saved in your computer in SPSS file .sav, right? So this is an SPSS file. First you have to open SPSS file, and then in SPSS you have to save your variables. So I have now selected this and I click OK. Now my variables will be available here. So you have to go to this tab where list variables in a data set. So like this, here you can list your variables. Here all your variables are here. So now, for example, if I want to put these variables, right? So I can just, for example, put this variable here, 1, 2, and 3, right? So I am just putting these three variables of VP. So these are three variables of VP. So this construct, I can call it VP. So to change the name of this construct, I have to double click here. So if I double click here, variable name, I can write here it is VP variable name, and label and name are same. So if I write it VP, it's okay, right? And these variables, let me select any of these ones. For example, I just select these ones, SMA, right here, SMA1 and SMA2 and SMA3 and SMA4 I put here. And in these ones I put ONPP, for example, ONPP, ONPP. Just I'm putting randomly any of these ones. If you have more, you can put all these. So I just close this one. I write here SMA, this variable, and I click here, and this variable I write ONPP. So these are now my three variables which I've written, but these do not look pretty. You see, these are not beautiful, like the writing is coming out of the boxes. So for this purpose, what you're going to do is you should go to the plugins, and you can say resize unobserved variable. Click this one, and you see now the writing has been fit it within the boxes. But now the problem is that there is no space. So you have to just select this one and move them a little apart, right? So that you can just do this. Or you see now my variables are coming a little bigger. So what I can do is I can just move them like this, right? And then I can move them like this, and then what I can do is I can bring them here. I can make a model like this if I want, and this can be my one of the models. Okay, yeah, I can make a model vertically or horizontally, whatever way I want. So I make them a little closer and like this. Okay, so now I've made them, but you see these variables which are at the top, they do not have anything inside. So we have to fill these as well. Either we can write it one by one, their names double click here, you can name the variables. But there's an auto way in the plugins. You go there and you can say name unobserved variables, so it will give the name automatically. But if I now, the next step would be for me to establish the relationships, right? So if this VP is my dependent variable, and SMA and ONPP are independent variables. So if I want to know that what is the impact of ONPP on VP, right? How it impacts, how SMA impacts VP. So I have to draw the relationships, and that I can do with this variable, the arrow one. I can select this one, and then I can select here. I can select this one, and I can select this here. So these are the relationships which I have to draw. These are the path models, right? So these are the path models through which I can establish that what is the impact of on ONPP on VP, or SMA on VP. And this VP is being measured by these three constructs. SMA is being measured by four constructs, and ONPP by four constructs. So now what I do is I have to draw the lateral, these covariant relationships between the independent variables. For this, that I use this double head arrow, and then I have to select this one. So I select from one and I select it here, right? So if I have to make it beautiful, I can just do like this, move it wherever I want to make it look better. So it's up to me wherever I want to just place it like this. So all the independent variables, they are should be covariance, right? They should be connected. If there are so many, then I have to connect all others as well. And with the dependent variable, you have to put this one as well, right? This is a unique variable. This you have to click and put here. So if it's a dependent variable, for every dependent variable you have to put this as well. Then I can move this also anywhere I want, right? So I can move it anywhere. And there is one more, yeah, this is also, this gives you a touch up, right? Touch up to the variables. If you do like this, so Amos makes does it whatever it thinks that it's more beautiful. So Amos thinks that this is the most beautiful way. If I just do touch up, so it becomes like this. And then I think, yeah, this is very fine. And if I want to move this a little in the center to make it beautiful, I can move like this. And now what I do is yeah, I have to now put these name unobserved variables. The unobserved variables, I click, you see now all these unobserved variables here, they have already been given names, right? So now my model is pretty much ready. So now I have to run this model. So before running the model, you have to see that analysis properties, what kind of properties you want for your model. So the maximum likelihood method, generalized least square, and there are so many, right? So usually with Amos, what we do is maximum likelihood method. And you have to select this estimate means and intercept if they are missing values. If there are no missing values, it's okay. And when you go for the output, what all you want, so maximization, standard estimates, standard multiple correlations, these all are the output results which you want. So indirect, direct effects, and whatever you want out of these you can select. But usually the standardized estimates, square multiple relations, and yeah, so covariance estimates, correlation estimates, these are some of the basic ones. And if you want, yes, if you want the bootstrapping, you can just select the bootstrapping, perform bootstrapping, right? So bootstrapping is a method in which your samples will be multiplied. So if you have less samples in your data, you can just do bootstrapping. So here are, for example, I have 400 samples in my data. So that samples you can check here in your data. Yes, select data files. You see I've got 500. So my samples are quite enough. If you have little samples, you can bootstrap here to make them more. So if I want to make them 2000, right? So I've got 500, so I want to make them 2000 subsamples. Then I can do the bootstrappings as well. So I set the parameters and now I have to run my analysis. So to run the analysis, this is calculate estimates. So this is the command. So you have to click here and now you have to save your model wherever you want in your computer. So this SAV, the data which I previously selected, right? So that had some problem. So I just changed it with this this one, and now I have just put the variables from the list SMA123 and then ONP. So now let me run my estimations, and as far as my estimations, and here I get these ones. So these are the estimations when I click on this one in this unstandardized and standardized estimates. So usually what you do is you have to look for the standardized estimates. And now you can see here these relationships are uh, significant. We can see 0.26 is here, 0.39 is here, and this 33 is the R square value. And if we see here these path relationships between the constructs, these all are above 70, 7.73, 0.76, 0.71. And did was here, you have to be very careful about these relationships between dependent variable and its constructs. So one of these relationships should be fixed as 1, right? So if it's not 1 here, then your model will be unidentified. For example, if you double click on this one, you see the regression weight is 1. So if I do not write it 1 here and just I delete it, so and then if I want to run my model, you see it says that it's unidentified. My model is unidentified, you see. The model is probably unidentified. In order to achieve this, uh, it's necessary to impose one additional constraint. So it's not working. You see the arrow is not red. So for that, I have to do, I can select any one out of these. Okay, it's not necessary that any one which I can select. Just I can select any one out of these, and then I can just yeah, so I can put a regression weight of 1 on any out of these, and then if I run my regression model, then it works. You see now the arrow here, it's red here. So these are the standardized estimates, and if I go to the unstandardized estimates, so these are the unstandardized estimates and these are the standardized estimates. This 32 is the R square value, and these values are should be above 60 at least, and preferably above 70 or 80. So minimum, if it's above 60, it's still okay. The values between the constructs and this variable, and these path relationships you can see in the data, these are 0.28 and 0.36, and it shows that this should be significant. And for that, you can go to the view text here and you can see your results, the estimates here, probability, all these relationships are significant, and the estimates you can see here, the relationships, and all other values, the variance. And if you want to see the model fit, so these are the model fitness details, and you can see this model is perfectly fit. So for today's purpose was just to go through the important tabs here, how to run the basic model. If you want to copy this diagram, this is the copy the path diagram, so you can click here and copy it anywhere you want. And so this is for making it bigger if you want, and this is making it smaller, right? So if you want to make it smaller or bigger, you can do this, or this is for adjustment of the type. So within this you can adjust it, or so these are some of the uh, basic things. And if you want to just do a print, you can just preview, and this is your preview, and then you can just do the print as well. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you like the video, please press the like button.